Welcome back to Superhero Stuff You Should Know. This is the Ben Man, and with me is...
Just Andrew this week, everyone. No special name.
I think maybe we just got tired out at this point. But,
run out of ideas for this week.
Yeah, it's all right. But yeah, we have an interesting episode. As you guys know, we've done a lot of rankings in the past, but I know, we have to sort of revisit these every now and then whenever we get newer stuff. And even though we technically haven't gotten a new Batman movie, we kind of did. And on top of that, though, we have a new Batman director in Batman, the Brave and the Bold, the man who already brought Affleck, Keaton, and, spoilers, Adam West and George Clooney back. And that's the Flash's own Andy Muschietti, as Patreon patron Halsey has shared with us Hollywood's worst-kept secret, as said here. And so, I think we can at least anticipate the Batman action will be awesome in that, because I think that's one of the strengths of The Flash. But what will the other things be like? I think this is kind of the first time we've seen a director who's already worked on the Batman characters then get the job for Batman. So that's sort of an interesting thing, and we can kind of go through what Batman elements were in this movie when we're doing the rankings and kind of get an idea of what things could we anticipate for Brave and the Bold as well. So I thought this would be interesting to dive into it. It always helps whenever there's a new movie, like kind of a follow-up episode as well has sort of helped in the past, because usually we have other opinions, kind of like how last year with the Batman, we did our episode on the Batman, and then afterwards we directly did one on, all the different historical and cinematic influences on it. Just kind of gave us an opportunity to talk more about that since, this is maybe not everybody saw it, but at least I think our audience did for the stuff. So I thought we would go kind of from most recent rankings to the furthest, with the second half of this being on the Batsuits, including a lot of the concept art that's been out on the Batsuits that maybe not everyone has gotten to see, and how they tie into the Kenner action figures as well. There's been some deliberate influence from the Kenner action figures that we've covered before on those the concept art for those Keaton suits that are in the vault. We're definitely going to spend more time on those Keaton suits than the movie did, but that's just kind of how we roll here on the show. Okay. So we're going to kind of move from most recent rankings to the furthest, starting with the Batcycle. Now, some of these we probably aren't going to change our rankings. We ranked the Batcycles with Chicano Batman a month or so ago, and we ranked it, let me pull this up right here, we ranked it at a D. I don't think we're changing that.
I'm not changing that, no.
It functioned well, but unlike the Batpod, seeing it in action really didn't change our minds about it at all. What made that sequence cool was Batfleck, kind of jumping around and stuff.
Yes, the action scene was cool overall. The movement was good, but design-wise, it's still not, not the best thing in the world.
Yeah, exactly. So that's staying as is. So hopefully, if Muschietti gets the hold of the Batcycle, there's a much better design for the Brave and the Bold one. But let's move on to the next one. So before that was the Batwings. So the Batwing in this one was interesting because it does have the same DNA of the 1989 Batman movie, but clearly was upgraded. Also had different functions. I think we were both fans of, I think Logan described this to me as like the gimbal function, or maybe you did.
Roll
maybe it was
cage.
Alex.
I said roll cage.
Yeah.
Whatever that. I don't know the exact terminology, but
yeah, where he kind of just stays in while the whole plane can 360 around him, type of thing.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Really cool. Yeah, that was amazing. So hopefully Muschietti can carry that over from Brave and the Bold into this in some way. I'm not expecting the same design, of course, on that. But if we were to jump over to the rankings real quick, we gave that an A under the Batcopter. I would be willing to give it an S because of the functions, like how it's able to do that 360 thing, just kind of less than 89, simply because I think the design of the 89 Batwing is better. But I think the functions are still good, and still, it's the best Batwing since 89 still.
Second best Batwing, right? Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's any debate about that at this point.
It's the first time it's really gotten a great showcase too, I think, since 89.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, it was
so,
great.
What do you think? Should we move this up or keep it as is? I kind of
So
want
it's
to move
already
it up a little bit.
It's already in the A, right?
It's at A. It's under the Batcopter. We could move it above the Batcopter. I'm thinking of moving it above the Batcopter.
Yeah, let's move it above.
Okay.
Sorry, man. I forgot we did that. That was the Patreon, right? Where we added that?
Yeah, the Patreon preview. I kind of want to give it the S-.
Okay. I'm fine with that too.
All right. I mean, it was
S-
great.
is good. S- is good.
It's great, and it kept that aesthetic of the Batwing. So here we go. That's our new ranking for the Batwings. Muschietti has moved this up. So the next stuff before that. Now this is interesting. Detective work. We did sort of the rankings of the different Batmen as detectives. I don't think Affleck gets any real new detective work in this one at all. He kind of he stops a bunch of, he stops Falcone's men and then has a scene with Barry, and that's about it. So I don't think it's really that fair to add that much more to him, which sucks because, he ranked pretty low on ours, and it would have been nice to give him something. Yeah. But that's just not there. Keaton's, however, I would say remains high because in the movie, he basically figures out where Supergirl's being held overnight.
Yeah.
Barry wakes up. Barry's been trying to use the Bat computer to try to find Clark and all that stuff, and then he wakes up and Bruce has already gotten it done. So that's pretty good. I also, let's see, other than figuring out where the government's holding a Kryptonian, I also think that, we even kind of speculated as well about whether or not he knew that Kara was going to be able to, save them when they brought her up to recharge, because who knows what Barry told him in terms of the Kryptonian powers when he was telling him about Superman.
Right.
So maybe there's that in terms of strategy. And then there's the whole thing about him knowing about the multiverse, which I guess still mystifies people. I think I saw a YouTube thumbnail today about the big Flash mystery. How does Keaton know about the multiverse? And I can just see you just being like, guys, the multiverse exists outside the comics.
I really feel like because this idea was introduced to a lot of people via comic book movies, that it's an idea that works so well with comic books and comic book movies that I'm sure a lot of people think that this idea was made up for the comics, but it wasn't. It's been a thing for a long time, so it was just in the realm of science. You had to watch a quantum mechanics documentary, or maybe some of the older Joe Rogan episodes or something where he had scientists on talking about it, or you were a scientist yourself. There were ways to find out about it, of course, before, but it's interesting that became a sticking point for people. But I guess I kind of get why it did. But
I get it, but also Everything Everywhere All at Once came out last year. It's something that's a multiverse story that has nothing to do with comic books. I guess maybe people just thought they were jumping on the Marvel bandwagon.
No, that's what it is. They think that they were jumping on a comic book bandwagon.
Yeah, but
they don't. They don't. I've said this before on my other social media, but the '90s were all about wormholes and shit. I remember people we were kind of obsessed with black holes. I mean, look at Event Horizon and other movies like that. Maybe Sliders or something. I can't remember, on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Maybe, yeah.
But now, of course, we're absolutely fucking obsessed with the multiverse.
Yeah.
So I wonder what the next sci-fi idea or science idea will take over sci-fi. We'll see in a few years, I guess. But yeah, right now it's definitely multiverse.
Yes,
that's definitely what it is.
Movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, this is something that exists outside of it. It's as natural as Bruce Wayne knowing about how the chemistry of the science of Joker's toxins work.
That's exactly how I think about it. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly how I think about it. Yeah.
So outside of that, I think it was nice. It's a nice showcase of Bruce's intelligence in this movie. I've seen some people, and I think maybe some of it is people who just didn't think about the context or missed a part, but I think there's been some criticism of one of Keaton's death scenes about him crashing the Batwing, but I'm like, dude, that was a sacrifice. He knew the ejector seat was broken. He kamikazes into the Kryptonian ship because he knows that he's on his way out. He even literally says it, like, I'm going down, but I'm not going alone. Like, it's not like
they thought it was an accidental suicide?
Yeah, and I'm like,
okay.
Do you know how to read this movie? So, yeah.
They might not have had good audio in their screening, bro. It's benefit of the doubt on that one, maybe.
Maybe.
You know?
Maybe. Keaton does speak in a low whisper as Batman.
Yeah.
But, yeah, on our rankings, let me pull it up. We had, well, neither of them were the world's greatest detective. Affleck was at a D and Keaton was at an A. And I think it's just going to stay there. I think I like where they're at.
He just knew all the shit in this movie, which was good. Yeah. I liked it, yeah.
So I think that works. I think that really worked. The other one that we did before that was on the kill count for Batman. Now, let us know if you caught anything, guys, but I don't think Affleck kills any of Falcone's guys in the big Batcycle action sequence. And I think Keaton... It's ambiguous to me whether anyone died when he strapped the bomb thing to the elevator, you know?
Right.
Because it seemed like that was to launch it.
I do benefit of the doubt, man. Yeah, that wasn't to blow up people. That was to launch them.
Yeah, and then like he clearly is killing Kryptonians or trying to kill Kryptonians, but I think you and I just don't count that. So
I mean, dude, they're not human for one, and it's in the realm of self-defense on top of that, right? So I mean, it just wouldn't count it. Plus, I sort of feel like the bomb he planted on Namek's head, just knocked him out.
It did, yeah.
I don't think that killed him.
No, because I think he comes back up.
Oh, he does come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know where a bat kill would have been there.
That's true, because if he blows up the ships, the Kryptonians just probably fall out of it. You know, like in Man of Steel,
right? Because they're Kryptonian.
Yeah. When Superman uses his heat vision, he's like, Krypton has its chance, and then he like heat visions the ship. Like he and Zod don't die when the ship crashes. Like, so they probably, maybe Keaton just didn't kill any Kryptonians. Maybe they survived all that shit because all he's trying to do is just like take out the ships that are causing harm to all the humans below and stuff as best as he could.
I think that argument can be made.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
So maybe he actually didn't kill any Kryptonians either. But even if he did, like I make an exception, I think, when it's like killing aliens or like Darkseid. Like we didn't count the parademons in Justice League.
Why would you count a fucking demon? That just doesn't. It just is not something you do. You know, like Batman can straight up murder demons all day for all I care. I just don't give a fuck about that.
All right. Also, like Keaton and Affleck's kill counts were the highest anyway, so I'm like, this doesn't really add much to it. I think Muschietti was probably wise, and Christina Hodson to like just not really address the kill issue and stuff, because like in the comic with Flashpoint, it's like a big deal. It's like, oh, Thomas Wayne Batman kills. But I'm just like, well, we got the two most kill-happy Batmen on screen in the same movie. You can't really do much with that. So
right.
I think they were wise to just be like, just forget about it. It's not part of this.
Definitely.
So I think that worked. This next one was one I almost didn't include because I nearly forgot. So Muschietti did do Gotham City in this movie. The opening Batcycle chase and the hospital explosion with the falling babies. That's all in Gotham City.
Oh yeah, he runs to Gotham. They do say that.
Yeah. I forgot about it until I was reviewing what we had. I'm just like, oh yeah, we don't need Gotham. And then I'm like, wait, no, we do. Because to be fair, Gotham is in this movie. It's a bridge in Gotham where Batfleck is holding on to Al Falcone and gets saved by Wonder Woman. Apparently, it was shot in Glasgow, same places where they shot parts of the Batman. But I almost forgot this was Gotham City. So
it's very bright. It is very bright.
It is very bright. I think an argument could be made that, like, hey, like this is a Batman who's been cleaning stuff up in part of the Justice League, so maybe Gotham looks cleaner as well. But it's so unmemorable and doesn't even feel like Gotham all that much that I forgot about it. It could have been set in Central City, and I still wouldn't have. Like it wouldn't have felt weird to me at all.
Yeah, they didn't do much with Gotham in this, which is. It's a Flash movie. It would have been cool to have that, but honestly, dude, I didn't even think about it too much till you mention it now. I guess it wasn't an issue for me too much.
Yeah. Like, I feel like it kind of has to be on the lower ranks, but it's not completely fair to say that it was bad because it's like, well, it's not a Batman movie. Gotham is in like 5 minutes of this thing, and it's Gotham during the day.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. At least we got the Bat Mansion to look like an awesome Bat Mansion. So
true.
A Wayne Manor. So at least we had that. With I could take the hit. It's fine. It wasn't perfect, but I don't really care. We have to rank it low, but it doesn't really matter ultimately for the movie.
Probably put it as a C.
C minus. Let's do C minus.
C minus. Let's put it it's below everything because it's not.
We barely. I mean, it was just we barely like saw it. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
What is the shit goose again?
Batman and Robin, 1949.
Oh yeah. Okay.
The shit goose.
Shit goose, man.
Absolute shit goose egg / idlock is what it says for our listeners out there.
The shit goose.
Because it was literally just like there was nothing about it. Just literally looked like a suburban area in that cereal. So I think that's so this is one above that, but it's also like this is the least amount of time we spent in Gotham out of any of these adaptations that we ranked when it came to Gotham City. So I can't really say that it was really bad. And again, an argument could be said like, hey, this is Batfleck at his most healed. After Justice League, so like he's cleaned up the city now that he's like been working with the Justice League. So like that argument could be made. We didn't get to see Gotham in Keaton's world, but he did say it's one of the safest Gothams in the world. So I anticipate if we did, it wouldn't have made sense for it to look like Anton First. So
for sure.
It
probably could have been a little darker, maybe like cloud cover or something, but.
Yeah, because
it's still fine. It's okay.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, I imagine Muschietti will improve on this in Brave and the Bold, since that's an actual Batman movie.
Well, he's under. It'll be after regime change too, so we're looking at probably something pretty different.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, for the better. For the better.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
You got to remember Muschietti. Whether you like this movie or not, he made this movie in a time of chaos.
Yeah.
The DC was going through, when they started this movie, I think Hamada was in charge, and like that regime, old regime, and then like he probably filmed it. Yeah, he probably filmed it even before Zaslav came on board at all.
Oh yeah.
Then Gunn, and then like probably a lot happened in the editing process, but like he made a movie during, and like not a bad one at all, like during lots of craziness. So if he makes like a Batman movie with a little bit more stability behind him, then it'd probably be even better.
Yeah.
We'll see, but
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I was more enthusiastic about the choice before seeing the movie, but also like I know a lot of what happened in the movie I can't really say was his fault, because like it's obviously not his fault that all the Ezra Miller shit happened, It's not his fault that that the brand of this universe was tarnished by earlier movies and reception to those earlier movies. Like he's basically kind of inheriting a shit sandwich when it comes to this. I think he's come under criticism for some of the things that he's said to defend the movie recently when it came to visual effects and, saying stuff like Ezra Miller's the only Flash that he sees. But I'm kind of like, when you're the director of this movie that's coming out, you really want to cause more negative reaction? Of course he's good. Like, if he just says no comment to, like, what do you say about the VFX being bad? Or what do you say about Ezra Miller's stuff? And he just says no comment. That's going to say something to people. People aren't going to, like, you're going to have whole articles of being like, Muschietti throws Miller under the bus and that type of stuff. I'm like, I think it's easy online as an outsider to just be like, well, ideally he wouldn't have said that, or like he shouldn't be saying those things. But I'm like, when you are a director of a major movie and you've put your blood, sweat, and tears to something and a ton of compromises probably with a bunch of execs to try to get this shit off the ground, and all these things, there's already this bad publicity, you don't want to add to it. Like, there is going to be a level of you having to be a politician there is going to be a level of you saying stuff that you probably don't believe, or that you have been fed by some publicist. You know, like if I don't know the context of Muschietti, commenting on the VFX, but if it's somebody shoving a microphone in his face at the premiere, like, what do you expect him to say? Like, yeah, I'm sorry, it was bad.
You're part diplomat at this point, especially around the time of the movie's release. That's like extreme diplomat time right there. You're in diplomat mode. Now, give it a year or two, he'll probably say some more real shit. But right now, that's just not gonna happen. So, I was honestly kind of surprised that Michael Shannon said that shit about the acting experience, or at least his experience with The Flash compared to Man of Steel. Yeah, like a week before the movie comes out. But he's just a very small factor. He's not the director. Well, he's not very small, but he's not as big as a director is.
Yeah. No. Like, Muschietti also is trying to get this Batman job at the same time when he's probably having these comments. So, meanwhile, Michael Shannon's just like, I've died like 3 times, guys. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
He's going to come back as like the voice of Crypto Dude or something. That'd be hilarious. Wolf.
I'm pretty sure I died again. It's like, no, you're the voice of the dog. I'm like, I'm the voice of what?
The dog's got a cape in this one.
So yeah, I'm like, I think I have issues with the movie. I don't know how much is down to Muschietti. I'll have faith that there's going to be something good out of this, but I also think some of the criticism against him, in thinking about it, is unfair due to just the position that he's in. So we'll just have to see. Maybe I'll eat my words and Brave and the Bold will be terrible. But I know the action's at least going to be awesome.
We got to see who gets to be the screenwriter for that one too. I mean, look at what Muschietti did. Muschietti also was kind of lucky in having Hodson be his screenwriter for The Flash, because that could have gone another way, if we didn't have such a great screenwriter as Hodson. So, I think, hopefully we have that stability from the DCU, and it looks like Gunn will have that. He's just seemed like the Rosenbaum interview, with Gunn. He just like he some of the stuff. Just a quick tangent here. He says some stuff like he got into art possibly because it gave him like a sense of being loved by other people. And he just says like really genuine, like heart on a sleeve, off the cuff shit. It's just like, this is the studio head. Yeah. This guy that loves punk rock and wears his heart on his sleeve like this. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, it's just, I'm personally, and I know you are too, Ben, I'm very excited. I think that Zaslav chose the right guy. It's what it's looking like right now. We'll see with Superman Legacy, but it's looking pretty fucking good. Right.
Yeah, I think that was a great interview. I thought that the stuff you just mentioned, like, that appealed to me too, where he was talking about, like, I've been searching for all this external validation and stuff. Like, that real stuff was better than any of the DC talk. DC's talk was still good. This other stuff, I'm like, hey, that's relatable. That is a good life lesson for anybody listening to this, where it's just like, hey, like, the pursuit for that external validation isn't always going to get you anywhere. And sometimes when you're at the lowest of the low, you find out where, like, the real love comes from. I thought it was a great interview.
It was great. If anybody's wondering, what's the name of that podcast? I just
Inside of You.
Inside
of You with Michael Rosenbaum.
Michael Rosenbaum, which, by the way, bro, that guy is like the epitome of like even keel, like just so, I don't know, just like very like how can I say it? Just like a normal dude, which I thought was great. He seems like
fantastic.
Such a cool bro, Yeah. I actually never did watch Smallville, but I'm a fan of Rosenbaum now, just from the fucking podcast. I just like how normal he was.
Check out some of the clips of Talkville where he does the Smallville thing, or even like watch like clips of him in the different podcasts and clips of him in Smallville, and you can just see why people say he's the best Lex Luthor, but also just how good he was because of how different he plays. Like, sometimes it's hard to remember that he played Lex Luthor when I'm listening to the podcast, because I'm just like, it's just how good he was in that. I think people underestimate just how good of an actor he was in that. They just think of him as Lex Luthor, but just the contrast in terms of vibe, because he plays somebody very different.
I know, right? Yeah, that's like his acting prowess, right? He's like so likable in real life, and I mean, seemingly I haven't met him in person, but like
I met him briefly.
You did, right? Yeah. That's awesome. You said he was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, he was awesome. So, would love to have him on the show.
Let's get him on.
Let's get him on.
What would be on his show? I would
love
that. Would be
not this Flash, but his time as the Flash. Though I guess we can talk about this Flash if he ended up seeing it. But,
he probably did.
Yeah, and he's also in the MCU as the Martinez, that like diamond shaped guy who works on Stallone's.
Gunn's bringing him into the DCU, bro. He's gonna play some minor role maybe, but he'll be in. They're too big of buds.
I know people. I think people are just, some people say like, hey, like Gunn's friends with Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum could be Lex Luthor, and I'm just like, guys, like Rosenbaum's done with that role. Like he doesn't want to shave his head again, and also like Rosenbaum has a very young soul, but the dude is 50 years old. You're not going to have a 50-year-old Lex Luthor with a 20-something-year-old Superman. Like it's just, I don't think that's going to happen. So
he could. What if he plays Perry White or something?
Oh, that'd be funny, actually.
Be some. I don't know, dude. It'll be some. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I could see a Gunn's gonna give him some minor role or something.
A voice role.
They're buds. Yeah, he's gonna. It's something. Might not even be Superman Legacy, but it'll be one of the other projects.
I'd love to see him in something different, almost something that has like nothing to do with any comic book stuff, like something that far removed from Lex Luthor, because he is a talented actor.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome for sure. He
said
he was the best Lex.
Yes.
But not good. But not the kind of Lex that might be in his movie. He did not confirm or deny that there's Lex in his movie, and there was also no confirmation or denial of Crypto either. Like James Gunn is grinning through his teeth, trying not to.
He knows.
Yeah, that shit's funny, man. All right, let's get back to
listen to this.
I derailed it once again, but I did love that episode. Everybody go check it out.
I love that episode too.
Yeah.
All right. So this last one before the break is we ranked Batcaves at one point. So let's talk about the Batcave in the Flash, because we didn't really get to talk about it this much. It has the DNA from Anton First. You end up seeing a lot more of it. You have the Bat computer with the multiple screens, but it's been updated. You still have the abyss and the caverns and the place where the Batmobile is parked, but it's just a lot more expansive. You see where the Batwing actually comes from, unlike in '89 where you never got to see that part of it. You only got to see bits and pieces, and then we see the waterfall opening and kind of just how it relates to the outside. But honestly, I think this is the best Batcave on film in a long, long time. Potentially, I don't know if it's the greatest, because I feel like it's such an extension of what they did in '89, and it's meant to be. It's not really fair for me to rank it above, but I feel like it's the second best on film.
It's a good point. Yeah, I was thinking at least A, but maybe you talked me into S- territory.
Well, let's see.
It was very good. It was very good. Again, Muschietti had like his design choices and his whatever he chose from his concept artists, like other than the motocross shit with Batfleck and the motorcycle, it's like all solid as fuck for me. I mean, look at everything else other than those two things. It's pretty much good.
So we have '89 at S, and then we had nothing else on the S tier. At the top of A was the OnStar Batman Batcave. We were doing it to scale. And then Batman 66, and then Batman Returns. But, I'd venture to say, much love to Tim Flattery and Tom Duffield from the show, but like this was still, I like this Batcave better. Still a good Batcave in Batman Returns, though. But I would put it S-. I feel like it deserves the S-, or
I'm okay with that.
89.
I think that's good.
Still better than the Dark Knights.
Dark Knights sucks. The Dark Knight Batcave.
Batcave specifically, everybody.
Specifically for the internet, we got to be specific.
Yeah. So we have not gotten flack from anybody about that. Maybe I just jinxed it, but
nobody
seems to disagree.
Actually, I love fluorescent lights and nothing around me.
Something super bright. Yeah.
I love it.
So yeah, this is what we got for the Batcave. Second to Batman 89, but above OnStar, Batman 66, Batman Returns, and everything else, as we see here. So that's pretty good. Again, I think it's the best one in a long, long time. It's the most cave-like one since Dark Knight Rises, because that one actually felt like a cave. I feel
it's
like
a combination.
Batfleck just never felt like a cave. Yeah.
It's a combination, right? Because it got the waterfall.
Yeah.
There was a waterfall in the other ones?
Waterfall.
Just Bale,
Just
right?
Bales. Just Bales, yeah. Which is also why I kind of felt like a combined version of some of the elements of Bale's Batcave with the Keaton Batcave. But
yeah, it's awesome. I love it. That's good.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. So that's what we got. So that pretty much leaves the Batsuits. And we have Batflecks and we have Keatons, but we also have a bunch of Keaton suits that were in the vault that we're kind of going to do a mini deep dive on when we get there after the break.
All right, everyone. June is a busy month for us, and we have a lot to announce. Some of the stuff is upcoming or has already passed, depending on when you view or when this episode comes out. But I will give the dates and go from there. So, first off, June 17th, both Andrew and I will be on the Flash podcast with Andy. Andy was part of our Flash episode on the Berlanti show, and he's bringing us onto his show live. So the date is June 17th. It will be at 10 a.m. PST, and we're going to give our review for The Flash. It will be spoilers galore, so make sure to tune in if you have seen it, and if you haven't, then go to the theater and watch it first, and then come in and tune in on the YouTube channel. But yeah, we will link that below, but it is under the YouTube channel DCTV Podcasts. So we're looking forward to that. We will be seeing The Flash early as well, and we'll make sure to have our own review and deep dive episode for you guys. So we're excited.
Can't wait.
And then real quick on June 20th, I will be, or already have been, depending on this, on the show Table Read Tuesdays on YouTube, joining actors in a table read of the Sam Hamm 1986 draft for Batman 89. So check that out. And meanwhile, Andrew and I are in a movie. We're in an independent short film called Derek Magnum, playing ourselves, and the movie could use your help. So head on over to, it's now a GoFundMe link in the description, and help them out. Proceeds go entirely to the production for festival costs and not to us. They could use some help there, and check it out. And we had a fun time shooting that.
Yes, it was great. We all know that making a movie is expensive, and we need to support indie filmmakers. So this is one way to do it. So yeah, please go to the website linked here for his GoFundMe.
Nice. So there's that, and then we have a few other plugs, some creative, some mine, some not mine. One of those is to check out a comic book now released called Mark of Death from one of the friends of the podcast, Andrew Pensner. But basically, this is one that is an independent comic that I've read, and it is pretty awesome. So let me read off what it's about. After the deaths of everyone he's ever loved, Mark Thompson tries to end his life only to discover he can't die. Confronted by an eternal order of sociopathic anti-heroes and their serial killer companions, Mark is thrust headfirst into a battle between the forces of life and death. Enlisted into a world of time stealers and death dealers, Mark finds himself a pawn at the center of a brutal war where an evil rebellion has broken every rule in the universe to keep him alive. But why? So, there's a lot going on, but there's a lot of great world building in this type of stuff, and if you want to support independent comics, check that out, and they're a supporter of ours as well. So, you can buy this comic from the publisher Bliss on Tap at their website. I'll include the link in the description as well for this month. And I myself will be writing my own comic and crowdfunding soon. The comic is called Alter Ego, and it is a comic
real
series.
Quick, I just wanted to comment real quick. The cover art looks fucking awesome. That's all I got to say.
The art is from Steve Gordon, who worked on X-Men Evolution. So
okay, well there you go. Look at that.
It's definitely got some cool stuff.
Really cool art, I think. Looks great.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. So yeah, check that out. And as for my own, it is a comic called Alter Ego, inspired by one of our favorite arcs, Batman No Man's Land. It's set in a cutthroat Game of Thrones style world where 5 families of supervillains rule over the vast wasteland of a post-apocalyptic city. These villains include the Kaiser, who is a telekinetic tyrant who leads the 5 families, the Host, a telepathic vampire who feeds off people's pain as he inflicts mental torture, and the Collective, a self-duplicating army of the same women, each with different personalities and skill sets. At the center of the story is the main character, Jace, who's a henchman, whose main purpose seems to be to protect and enforce for the 5 families, but in reality, he's actually there undercover to take them down and kill them all. So, hence the title, Alter Ego. Character art here is by Danielle Moses, who's one of our supporters who provided the voice as Catwoman in our episode where we reenacted deleted scenes from Batman Returns. So she's also an artist, and you can find her on Instagram at FayAndFamiliar. I'll include the handle as well. But I'll let you guys know when the crowdfund link is ready to go soon, but this is just kind of the putting the feelers out on what it is, kind of like what Andrew did with his project, which I don't know if you want to talk about now, but
we don't have a slide for it, but Amino Recon has changed into Metal Force. We just thought that'd be a better name ultimately, and it is no longer a series, but rather will be a feature-length movie, and the Kickstarter is still gonna be coming soon. We just have some final things we need to figure out as far as that is concerned, but we could also link that in the description, I guess, and check it out. Metalforce.ninja is the URL. So
sweet.
Yeah, metalforce.ninja. So yeah, check us out there, please.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then for our charity, we usually have a charity run for each month, and this month is very relevant to us, and it's the Hero Initiative. So I'll let Andrew introduce that to everyone.
Okay, so, I mean, basic pitch here, guys, is that this is like a GoFundMe specifically. I mean, it's not GoFundMe, but it's like a GoFundMe. It's GoFundMe-esque, and it's called the Hero Initiative, and this is about sending donations to comic book creators that are essentially in dire straits at the moment, with medical bills and things like that. So we're doing a charity where, we sponsor, well, I wouldn't say sponsor, we're shouting out a charity every month, and this is the one for this month. So yeah, if you could go to heroinitiative.org/be-the-hero, but it's be-the-hero. So heroinitiative.org/be-the-hero, and check that out. We have it linked also in the description and in the video as well. So yeah, just check it out. And if you can donate a couple bucks, that'd be good. That'd be great. Because these guys and gals, when I say guys, it's pretty much like non-gender. But anyway, these guys and gals, they have given us a lot over the years with their creative works, and now they just have some health issues, so and need a little bit of help from us now. So yeah, if you could go on over there and help out, that'd be great. Just wanted to announce that I have a new podcast called Gaming Gaiden. It's about Japanese to English translation. In this first season, it will be 10 episodes each season. If you saw the ranking, every Superman video game two-parter we did here on Superhero Stuff You Should Know, you have seen Mike before. So yes, if you like video games, if you've been interested in Japanese ever, we're going to be talking a lot about just Japan in general, Japanese cultural differences as well, and we also are going to have a lot of talk about 90s video game magazines such as Electronic Gaming Monthly, aka EGM. So stay tuned for Gaming Gaiden podcast. It's already out now, y'all. I wanted to tell you about the Patreon.com. Patreon.com/superherostuffpod, and on that you get the $1 tier. You can join the $1 tier, which gets you the shout out on the board, and either visually or orally, or both at times. We want to do the oral for the most part for newer people. And then the $5 tier gets you a whole new show. This show is every Monday, as you well know, and it's free on YouTube and the what's nots. And the Patreon show is every Friday at the $5 tier mark. You can, if you want, binge us for $5, and there's like 150 episodes, almost 150 at this point, and you can listen to all that content there. Even the stuff that's been released from the vault, none of that has been the full episode as well. So trying to keep our $5 tier people happy. But yeah, check that out. And then our $10 tier gets you all of the above, plus it gets you a monthly meetup show where you meet up with us monthly, and it's like a Zoom-like call, and we have a topic at hand, or sometimes videos we react to and things like that. And that's at the $10 tier. Every tier that you get, like the $5 tier gets you the $1 tier benefits, and the $10 tier gets you the $5 tier benefits and the $1 tier benefits. So check that out at patreon.com/superherostuffpod. We also got the merch, which is Redbubble, superhousepod.redbubble.com, and on Threadless, superherostuffpod.threadless.com. Get your Bin Man and Indeed Wizard mug, shirt, shower curtains, and all the rest artwork by Stephen Santa Cruz. And please send us some audio at superhousepodcast@gmail.com. A bumper would be great. You too can be part of the show. I'm Thunderwolf Drew on Instagram and Twitter. Thunderwolf lives as my other YouTube channel, one of my many YouTube channels. And I have also thunderwolfdrew.com has my whole portfolio in one place, except for amanorecon.com. That's AMANORECON.com. And that is an original idea that some friends and I are doing, where it is R-rated Power Rangers meets Stranger Things. That's the quick pitch, and it is not a fan film, original idea. We have a pitch video right now on YouTube and on the Indiegogo page. We're campaigning right now as of this, when this episode premieres. And this poster art is by ZacharyJacksonBrownArt.com. And check it out. Please support us on the campaign, and more from that soon. But yes, it's bloody, and if you like that kind of thing, check us out. And that's it, Ben.
Follow us on social media, on Twitter at SuperhousePod, Instagram Superhero Stuff Pod, where we have some different supplemental stuff. I've even analyzed the martial arts stance that the Keaton ornament from The Flash is in, so you can check that out on our Instagram Superhero Stuff Pod, TikTok Superhero Stuff Pod, Vero Superhero Stuff Pod. My website is benwanwriter.com, where you can read a whole bunch of spec scripts, including Gotham, Vampire, Elementary, The Death of Sherlock Holmes, and Curb Your Enthusiasm, Disneyland. If you're fans of any of those shows, check them out and let us know what you think. My YouTube channel is in the description below, including Doctor Who, The Ronin of Time, an audio drama I write, edit, and narrate with the 8th Doctor meeting Miyamoto Musashi. My personal Instagram is benwanwriter. If you like cats, my son, Alfie, my cat, is at Alfie Pennyworth Cat. And if you have an Alfie yourself, then you can get the Whisker Box, the only cat box for the crazy cat lady and gent. And you can even check out another page on that website, superherostuffpod.com/show notes. That includes various show notes for each of our episodes, links to the scripts that we review if they're available online, Amazon links to the stuff we've been talking about, including, Brian Levant's book that he plugged for us, My Life and Toys. So check that out at superherostuffpod.com/show notes.
Lord have mercy, y'all. Do you like hounds? Do you enjoy pooches? Do you find yourself enjoying time spent with that of canines? Talking about dogs, y'all.
As you might have heard, Superhero Stuff You Should Know has now teamed up with BarkBox. For every month, you get a box for your special canine.
Pooches.
Or hounds.
That's right. One free extra month if you go to barkbox.com/superherostuffpod.
Follow the link and you'll get a free extra month valued at $35 and valid for all multi-length plans.
So get the BarkBox for your hound, for your pooch, for your canine.
Your doggo will thank you.
Hypertext transfer protocol.
And we're back, and we're going to go over the different Batsuits in this Flash movie that we got. We got a bunch of them, actually, including ones that are never worn, and we'll go over whether or not it's fair to rank those, but, you know, we're probably going to rank them anyway. But let's start with everything in order. So let's start with Batflecks. So this is Batflecks in the beginning, notable for being blue and gray for the first time since, I guess, Clooney, if you count that fucking Arctic suit and stuff. But we didn't get that great of a look in the trailers other than this shot. But there was a behind-the-scenes picture with what looks like Affleck and Ezra that gives us a better look at it. And this is definitely Affleck's worst suit. Like, the blue and the gray is the best part of it, but it's this motocross shit that really ruins it. That he never removes. There's no, like, maybe if it was some sort of explanation for it, but again, like, I don't get why he would need to attach it when he's on the Batcycle when he's already in an armored suit. So, they could have just done a blue tactical version of what he wore in the tactical suit in Justice League, or just the Justice League Batsuit, but blue and gray if they really wanted to do blue and gray, or just reuse that suit from the Justice League movie. It's not like, I mean, maybe Affleck's a different size than he was back in the Justice League movie, but it's like still, like, it, you use the same design or something like that. This is just entirely unnecessary, and it almost looked like, it looked weird too on screen. Like it's the way it fit his body, or not even fit his body, but just almost like the silhouette of it. I don't know how best to describe it. It's almost like this weird indentation from his chest down, because it's like it's an outer exoskeleton type of looking thing on his torso, but it's just bad. And I think you felt that way too.
Yeah, well, it's just because it's like it's extra armor. I think that their thinking was probably he needs to have this because he's going to be doing motorcycle action. Mm-hmm. And like if it's so his suit doesn't like skid on the road or something. That is literally the only reasoning I can think of for this. Mm-hmm. But even thinking that, you got to remember this is the Batsuit, man. Mm-hmm. Like just like it'll take some skidding and be cool even if it has some battle damage, you know.
Yeah.
We are to assume this is all like Kevlar type of shit. Like there's pseudoscience, you know, it's made up comic materials, whatever the fuck it is. We don't need this. Like different environments, maybe like you know, like the scuba suit or the snow suit or something like that. Maybe we can talk. But whenever he's just doing like city type action like this, you overthought it again. Like this is just not. It doesn't look that cool. And I think also it's made a little worse only because we like it so much otherwise. We like if it didn't have that, you made a blue and gray Batfleck. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's awesome other than the motocross armor. So it's like you're covering up some awesomeness, you know. Yeah. And it's not the worst thing in the world, but it just could have been so much better.
Yeah.
In like my opinion, and I'm sure your opinion, and probably many of our listeners' opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then the cowl as well, the nose, something about it. It looks okay. Like the cowl itself looks okay in these behind the scenes pictures, but in the movie, something was off with that cowl.
It was a CG overlay or something, man. Like this.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't really notice the nose like you did. I think maybe I have to see it again. I just noticed his weird ass like CG face was getting in the way. I just couldn't believe. I couldn't, especially with close-ups. Like, what the fuck is going on here? But, the cowl to me in these shots look fine to me. I have to see the movie again to really judge. But it's just, the motocross stuff is just not my thing. Mm-hmm. I love the Flash suit in this. I think that was good. Like the main Flash suit was cool. So their main character, they kind of nailed. So you did good on that one, Muschietti, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So where should we rank this? This is the first ranking. I feel like, hold on, let me exit out this ad. So I feel like it's a D, dude. Like it's the worst of the Affleck ones. I would.
Oh man, it's just the motocross shit.
That's true.
I don't know, dude.
Even with that, I felt like the cowl didn't even look good on screen.
Let's see.
Like it's maybe
you
you're
think
more
it's
generous
worse.
Than me with this.
we're gonna maybe not agree entirely on this, which is fine. We don't have
Probably
to agree on
won't.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I did not like the trench coat thing that much either, but I would rank it below the trench coat.
Yeah.
But the thing is, dude, if it didn't have the motocross shit on it, I would put it like A.
I would rank it higher. I still think he looks weird in the cowl, but I
Yeah.
would definitely rank it higher. But like the motocross thing basically ruined the whole thing.
Yeah, okay. Dude, Muschietti's motorcycle aesthetic, man. Let's maybe work on that for the next movie, but other than that, you're really good. So I'm talking
Stick
like
to
he
the
needs
Batwing.
me. I'm talking like he fucking even knows what podcasts are. But shit, man, I don't know. I would go. You could average this out, but I would go maybe C+ or something like because I'm giving a benefit of the doubt, just because maybe you could take that motocross armor off or something, and I do like a blue and gray Batfleck.
Me
so I'm being easy today.
I guess we've reversed roles because usually
In
you're
this
harsher
instance.
on the designs. In this instance, yeah. All right, so that would average out at, like, say, C-. Gave it a C+, I gave it a D, so that would put it basically above Clooney and Bale's Dark Knight suit, but below the serials and stuff. So
I just also I feel like, again, I know this is outside of the movie kind of, but if the toy came out, the armor could be removable maybe. So
I don't know.
That's
about
always that's always
Yeah, I don't know if it
factoring
is.
into my thinking. Okay, all right. Well,
It'd be
anyway,
cool
I'm
if it
fine
did.
with where it's at. Yeah, yeah. It would be
I don't-
cool.
Again, like maybe if there was a part where he's been rescued by Wonder Woman, he comes back up, and then like, all right, job is done, and then he removes whatever.
Or it
I
got
still think
damaged.
it's unnecessary.
It fell off
Yeah.
when he bounced against the concrete or something, and it's like fucking revealing like a regular suit.
Yeah.
Then we're back to A+ territory probably. Battle damage blue gray Batfleck be fucking sick.
Oh yeah,
With
yeah,
no
dude.
motocross.
Uh-huh. Yeah, like one of my favorite aspects of the Batfleck suit in BVS is it's also replicated on the suit that I have. With it on the emblem, there are like knife marks, claw marks
sick.
from Catwoman, but there's clear battle damage on that suit. I'm just like, why are you giving him extra armor so that he can withstand battle damage? The battle damage is half of the appeal of this type of stuff. But I do like your idea
for
of it,
sure.
of like snapping off at some point. But even then, I'm just like, yeah, just make a blue and gray version of the regular Batfleck suit from the previous movies. Like, you don't need that shit.
It's very close to greatness. It's just
I know.
I just don't get. I don't get it when everything else was like the Keaton suit also great. Flash, both like the silly Flash suit's also funny and good.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's just weird. He kind of, from our perspectives, he really dropped the ball on this one little part of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a very small part.
Yeah. So that's it for Batfleck. Let's go into the Keaton suits. Now, we see a ton of the Bat suits when Keaton first opens that vault. I feel like for the fun of it, maybe we still kind of rank them. Maybe not necessarily fair to rank them with ones that people actually wore. So they're sort of just statues, but we can chime in with our opinions individually because we've had a closer look at these. It just has, it's just in a few seconds of a shot in the movie, but there's been a bigger showcase of these that I feel like are probably good representations of what they used on set. So there was a Hot Toys exhibition in Hong Kong that showed a closer look at these suits. First was through the Hot Toys themselves on that. So
nice.
You could own your own Batsuit Volt in toy form, thanks to Hot Toys, I think.
I think many will. For sure.
So there's that. And then they also, because they knew that we were suckers for this stuff, had
Ben, how many have you ordered, man, already?
I would order certain ones, but we'll go into that.
Okay.
So this is sort of the statues that are replicas of the suits in the movie in better lighting. We didn't get that great of a shot in terms of seeing the details of them naturally because they were all in a group and they were in darkness. And we've sort of analyzed a little bit about those suits in past mini Patreon preview episodes, but now we actually get a really good look at these, especially the ones that were not the main ones that Keaton wore in the movies. So let's start with the first one on the far left. This first outfit takes deliberate inspiration from the 1939 costume. is dubbed the Caped Crusader suit.
Okay.
And you can see it's got a blue lining inside the cape, very old school.
Just a real quick, these are the ones that were in the Keaton room
Yeah.
in the Flash. All
Yep.
these, God, seeing them with colors like totally different.
Yeah, because
Like,
you don't really
pretty
see many
different.
details of it.
Yeah.
But these are the details. That's why I'm like, well, like for those who might not have seen, these pictures or had more interest in those suits, it'd be good for us to go over them. So this is,
Yeah.
you can kind of see the 1939 influence. Of course, you've got sort of the horn type shape to the ears, very different from the straight ears that you can see from the others. We have him holding holsters that Chris Weston, who designed this, said the holsters were meant for grappling guns. Other people sort of took it to be sort of a Flashpoint Batman thing with them being, or Golden Age Batman thing with them being holsters for actual guns. But you can actually see behind this winged Batman, right under the wing, there are guns on the wall and stuff. So maybe when they actually built them, they took them to be actual Golden Age Batman type guns. We know Keaton was not averse to using those in the movies. So, I mean, he never fired it directly in his hand, but he did it through the Batmobile and the Batwing. So that is an element. The insignia is meant to be, if you notice, the chest insignia is very different from the regular, the one on the Keaton suits. It is something that's supposed to harken back to Adam West as well.
I do like this suit. It's supposed to be old school. I mean, he's got like kind of like wrestler boots and knee pads kind of thing too. Kind of looks like.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, there's no purple gloves, but you still have like the style of those being just like gloves that fit over the hand. He doesn't have the ones with the the gauntlets with the fins on there. So that's not there. At first, I was just like, why does he have the knee pad and the elbow pad things? But what you just described, as well as the fact that this is like the very first costume, it's supposed to have some element of old school, homemade type of feeling.
Kind of Pulp Hero, harkening back to Pulp Hero. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So it's cool. I like it. I actually like that one quite a bit.
Yeah, I love this one too. I've always wanted to see the 1939 Batsuit done in some way, in like a flashback type of thing, kind of like how Superman and Lois does the Fleischer suit. And stuff.
Yes.
So I'm like, this might be the closest we get until let's say Muschietti does a flashback where he just literally is wearing this suit for something, and does the Detective Comics number 27 cover recreation or something.
I love the Bat's logo symbol on the chest here too. I think that it's that one. That's an Adam West one basically, or it's just similar to it.
I think it is. I think it's similar to it. I think Chris Weston, who did the concept art for this, said on Twitter that it was meant to evoke the Adam West insignia, but I don't think it's an exact one. But it's like close enough,
Yeah, that's cool. All right, yeah.
So
that's awesome.
If we were to give this one a grade, I'd give this a pretty high grade. I think we both would.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a great representation of the 1939 Batsuit. So if we're doing this on a scale, right, because this is supposed to be an early, Golden Age Batsuit type of thing. It's not supposed to be the main suit that he wore, for a very long time. Well, I mean, I don't see that much wrong with this one at all. I mean, it's great. I think it's on a scale for what it's supposed to be. It's an S tier suit, I feel.
Oh yeah,
I give it an S. Supposed to be. Yeah,
I give it an S too. It's it might be my favorite one here. Not to spoil the rest of the fucking episode, but yeah, in this for this these two pictures. But
I hear you.
I think it's I just like the old school flavor, man. I think it's cool. I think maybe I'm not any kind of demerit I'd say is like I don't know how much I like really tall ears, but I'd have to see somebody wear it to really judge.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really like the color scheme, the bat symbol. The belt looks cool. Looks like he has like like they're all grenades or something. He's got some trunk. He's got trunks, old school style. It's cool. It's a very cool one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, if we were to just for the hell of it, I'm going to put it up here on the tier maker type of stuff. But we're going to move that up to the S. We'll just put that here.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then move on to the next one. So the next one is a blue and gray suit. Definitely inspired by 1970s Neil Adams style and onwards type. So it's pretty much the Batman '89 suit, but blue and gray with some changes. One being that I feel like the ears are at its tallest in these.
Yeah.
You've got some insane Kelly Jones ears on this one. But the insignia is the '89 symbol. The abs are a little different. The abs are bigger, actually, on this one. We still have the trunks. The utility belt's a little different. We've gone from the, sort of grenade pouches, the grenade capsule type things, to pouches on here. Also, just the body on this looks way bigger than it would be on Keaton, but it's still like I think some people as well brought up that the lighting in the shot in the trailer in the movie made it kind of look like it had white lenses, but we can see here that's just not the case. Which would also seem maybe a little weird that he randomly tried to do lenses, but he also kind of, maybe I'm talking out my ass because he also in this continuity randomly decided to do blue and gray for one suit, so who knows? But it is. I think this is the way to go if you're doing blue and gray. I still prefer the blue shade on the Affleck suit, but the actual suit itself, this is the better one out of the blue and gray suits in this movie. I don't think I necessarily prefer it over the '39 suit, but I do really love these two suits on the left. I just there's something really cool about the fact that they added this as part of Keaton's Bat history. So
what do you give it?
I feel like it's an S-, A+. I only rank it a little lower simply because the ears are a little too much for me.
Yeah, I would go A+ probably. It's not even the ears. I think. I need to see it with a person in the cowl. They are kind of high. They're kind of tall, but the muscle suit is like a lot. But I don't know. Maybe we'd have to see it move, but. Dude, it's a fucking toy brought to life, pretty much. So like, it's just like this kind of suit would be cool for Batman Brave and the Bold. If we're gonna stay dark for the Reeves verse, seeing this as a contrast will be very cool. I do like the pouches. Also, I think that's cool with the pouch on the utility belt. I feel like this is an exact toy that we've seen before, and they just made it.
It feels like it, doesn't it?
It just looks like they used the toy as the model. So I would go A probably A+, maybe it's just straight A, regular A. Yeah,
we're ranking that over the armored BVS suit, so that works for me.
That was a good one though.
That was a good one, but this is a classic brought to life. Okay.
We did this with Zach or no? Did we have a guest?
Yeah. This is how far back we've gotten.
Yeah, because I remember Zach talking about the suits now.
Yeah, I think Zach bumped up some of the Snyder. He definitely helped bump up the Nightmare Batman because I know you don't like that one.
That's why.
I'm kind of on it. Like it's okay, but I think Zach's the reason why that ended up in B.
Yeah. It's not the worst in the world. I get it. It looks like a McFarlane toy for sure. Snyder had an aesthetic. I just don't like Batman in a trench coat that much. But that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah.
Or a duster, or whatever you call it.
Yeah. So before we move to the ones on the right as well, you might notice by Blue Batman's glove, you see shurikens. You see the ninja wheels that specifically were done. Developed for the the Batsuit Vault in 1989. So I'm put that right next to there.
Nice, that's cool.
There would love. There's somebody who probably 3D prints these on Etsy or something. Would love something like this. Personally, I know it's deep cuts, and probably there you get maybe 30 customers out of that, if anything, of people who are part of these Michael Keaton as Batman, Facebook groups and stuff. But I would love this.
With 3D printing, the sky's the limit.
Yeah. So I'd love that. That's how we got. Chicano Batman gave us our custom batarangs.
Yes,
as well for that. So one of my cherished.
I have it around here somewhere.
No worries. So let's move on to the ones on the right.
Right here.
Here we go. Hold on. Let me hold up mine as well. Let's switch the views so that people
This
can
was-
see them. But this was great.
This is from Chicano Batman.
Yep. It's got our names on it, as well as the superhero stuff you should know name. So, great stuff. Love
Thank
it.
you, my bro.
Yep. So, big shout out to Chicano Batman on that. And let's move to the other ones. So, we have ones on the right that are definitely inspired in some way by the Kenner toys.
Yeah.
We have it on good authority based off of what you're going to see after this. But these are interesting. We got a winged one with sort of a breather mask that is called the Gotham Guardian, is what the name says on the bottom of it. This is kind of presumed to be an aquatic deep dive Batman type of suit as well. Though the wings could also indicate he could just be flying around in it and he needs the breather mask for the altitude. But it could go either way.
That's with the wings, man. Like before, it did seem like a scuba Batman thing, but now with the wings that we see it now, it's like it's probably like a high altitude, like one of those one of those stratosphere jump kind of things, which is pretty cool. I do like that. Like the Red Bull jump. Didn't that guy jump from fucking orbit almost or some shit? There was some guy went fucking nuts.
Oh yeah, I can see this being something like this, something like
Yeah.
that. I mean.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Mhm.
You
definitely.
know what? It's I'm gonna jump the gun, Ben. It's
ahead.
like a B plus probably.
That's
it's
exactly
pretty cool.
what I got.
It's pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I got a B plus. Again, for this specific thing, I wouldn't want this to be the main bat suit, obviously, but like for something that he, has to pull out because, maybe Firefly's pulling some shit. All right, like time to, he's flying around. I got my own wings, like that type of thing. He pulls this out. So that would be pretty cool. I think this is, again, some inspiration from Kenner while also being its own thing. So let's. let's see.
They look like toys, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're already more than halfway there.
Yes. So there we go. And all right, so the last one is, there was some speculation on whether or not it was a desert suit or an Arctic suit because of the goggles that were on the top. Obviously, we associate these goggles a lot with Batfleck's Nightmare suit, but upon looking at it, we can see kind of more clearly what it's meant to be because the title of it is Arctic suit.
Oh, it does say it.
It does say Arctic suit on this, so it is meant to be like that. And I think it was Halsey who presumed that it would be white in the body, and he was right. It is a light gray or white body, as we can see here. It is meant to be for the Arctic. I think this is cool, but I have some reservations. One is I don't get the black squares. It feels like they forgot to take something off.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Is that on purpose or what is that all about? But
I don't know.
Keep going.
Maybe
Keep going.
somebody from Hot Toys is going to be like, yeah, sorry, that was supposed to come off and we forgot. But it's just I don't know why that needs to be there. You can see that the ab armor is similar to Batman Returns, with it being a little bit more squarish, robotic looking. So that's good. And then the other aspect I have with this is I think it'd be way cooler if the whole thing was white.
That's exactly my note. It's if you're gonna be, a ninja in a snowstorm, you can't be just having your torso that's the same color as the fucking tundra. You need the whole fucking. Right. You need the whole guy. Yeah. Maybe you have the yellow bat symbol or the chest thing just because it's Batman, but the cowl, everything else got to be snow white, dude. It says Arctic suit on the thing. So what's going on with this gray here? They need to look at that picture of this snow ninja that we posted that time. So this is I think I feel like we're heading in the same direction. Yeah. This is like kind of the worst one here. Great idea. Love a snow Batman. But not executed very well. What score would you give it?
Like a B-, C+. I'd say B-. I'm a little generous maybe on this one. Where I'm just
generous.
Yeah. Oh, you hate it more?
I don't hate it. I was like a C-, dude. It's like
C-.
Just because I feel like it's if you're going for Arctic Batman, what's with all the gray, dude? Like just it's just
what do you think of this?
This is better.
This is
Right.
the all-white Batman Batsuit in the Batman animated series from 2004 when he faces off against Freeze.
This is better than the other one. Is it part gray though?
I think that might be the lighting. Let me pull this up.
They probably made it just a little gray because it's animated.
Slightly,
It might have been weird if it was white in
Yeah.
animation. Well, this is better. It's not perfect, but it's better for sure.
Yeah.
It's interesting that he covers his well, I guess because of the snow or whatever, but yeah, covers his chin with this one. Looks like Moon Knight, dude.
A little bit. Yeah.
So yeah, and weren't there like actual Arctic toys for Kenner? Am I remembering this wrong?
And we'll go over that in a second. But it looks like our average would be
C.
Yeah, C.
Regular
so put that
down the line C.
Yeah. So
I'm
going to put these in random places because it's not really fair to rank them necessarily with the ones that actors actually wore throughout a whole movie.
Yeah.
But I'm just putting it here at C.
Question to our listeners out there: let us know in the comments. I know I could Google it, but I want to ask our listeners also. What's like the best stealth in the snow scene in a movie? Like if they were going to do this for Batman, let's say, Damian and Batman Brave and the Bold coming up, have a scene in the snow. Like what movies would the screenwriter reference? Like what I'd love to see that. Like we've seen stealth movies, spy movies and shit, but like snipers in the snow or whatever. Like what I would love, like just let us know in the comments, please. I'd love to see what they could possibly reference for an Arctic Batman scene or ninjas in the snow, shit like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I think we like the ones on the left better than the ones on the right. It kind of goes from best to worst in that order from these. Really,
kind of. You know what? I really do like the Stratosphere suit is what I'm going to call it. Like this pretty cool. It's kind of cool. I think it's lower, but not a whole lot lower for me than that blue and gray one. But yeah, old school bro is awesome.
yeah.
I would buy that toy immediately.
So yeah, we got some hot toys to get after this once we find that they're available. But one treat that we have that is something that I wasn't expecting to get out there this early on, but one of our guests, Joe Quinones, the artist on Batman 89, and was on our show to talk about the Batman 89 comic, he got to do concept art for these suits on The Flash, and not only that, got to post what they were online, and we're going to share those here. So, and each one takes inspiration from the Kenner toys. So this one takes inspiration from Laser Batman from the Batman Returns line. And
I totally had this one. Forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
But I owned that toy when I was a kid.
Yeah, Laser Attack Batman combined with the Bob Kane 1939 Batman is what we have here from Joe Quinones. We see some differences here too, compared to the old school one that we saw. It's like he combined stuff, so you do still have the lines that were on the Laser Attack Batman, the Laser Batman here.
Yeah,
The sort of kind of the scales, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Dude, it's like a suit that's supposed to deflect lasers specifically. That's the only thing I can think of. Like he has a laser, but the suit's also for deflecting other lasers. I think I don't know. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah. Notice Joe also carried over the missile firing radar dish when we look from here to the concept art. Dude, that's pretty cool.
Basing it on toys. That's what I'm talking about. Yep. This is it.
Yep. So it's a mix of that. Some other cool things we might notice is that you still see the two-toned of the color of the cape, where it's sort of black on the outside, purple on the inside, as a little callback. And if you look at the gloves, that glove looks purple too.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
That's a nice shout out. And another deep dive thing in here that Joe put in here that I'm sure we might be the only ones to point out. There are these little tiny eyes on the bat insignia on the top left, as well as on the suit itself. And that comes from the original Bob Ringwood costume designs that, for some reason, they were playing around with that idea of there being eyes on the logo. And I think Joe wisely thought, like, hey, like, wouldn't that be cool if an original costume idea was also an original costume idea for Keaton for this. So we see what you're doing, Joe, on this.
Yeah.
We love it. This is awesome.
Very good.
So this is
Very
cool.
good.
So next one. This one is not necessarily inspired by Kenner, but this is a stealth jumper Batman from Hush in the issue where he goes to basically kind of kidnap Talia at one point. And this carried over into a blue and gray stealth jumper Batman. This is the Keaton Batman in blue and gray. So probably, a combination of this and Chris Weston's ideas inspired that blue and gray Batman. As we can see, there's also not an exact version on it, but we can kind of see some shades of this in the 1939 Cape Crusader suit because we have the pads here.
Right.
On the knee pads and the elbows, which is also part of the stealth jumper Batman, as we can see here from the Jim Lee art and the action figure. But it's carried over here onto Keaton. So
Yeah, that's cool.
That's pretty cool. And then we also got the carryover of the white eyes, the lenses that Joe put into the Batman '89 comic anyway. As well. So that's another carryover. So that's pretty cool on that. But the rest of these are inspired by Kenner toys, and we got a whole bunch of these. Arrow Strike Batman gets carried over into this.
This was like a time. I guess I just had a lot of the Batman Returns toys. Like I think I had like all of these, dude. This is cool. This is cool. I like the kind of like, air glider type of shit. What's his name? Arrow Strike.
Arrow Strike, which probably inspired that Gotham Guardian one that we looked at with the wings.
Like
look at this.
There was that show in Centurions back in the day. It was like Land, Sea, and Air Bros. And I always liked the air dude. I thought he was the coolest one. I guess because flying is cool. But like this, it's not like that guy was blue because it was the color of the sky. But every time I see like an air type of suit, I think of the Centurions.
Right. So this is cool. I think in terms of again the accessories carry over. Look at. It's a huge version of the gun on the art on the action figure, and then a smaller version that Joe carries over into the concept art.
Yeah, it's cool. I love it.
And then after that, we get a whole bunch of other sort of ones inspired by Kenner toys that don't necessarily translate into the ones that we got, but it's cool that he tried to throw them in there. So Jungle Tracker Batman does exist in concept art form from
That's
Joe.
Kind of awesome. I actually don't think I had this one, but this is cool. This
is the camo one. Yeah, he's even got war paint on his own the chin area as well, which I don't think he does on the toy. Yeah, he doesn't on the toy. But again, the shoulder mount launcher is carried over, at least when it comes to what's on the side, as well as the actual gun coming out of his gauntlet, which is kind of cool. So
that's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. We got Air Attack Batman as well.
Two Air Bros.
Yeah. Again, this is one where I think he did a whole bunch of concepts, and it was up to them to pick what things they liked best on this. So this is another Air one. This is another one with wings in a way, and it's kind of got this interesting. Maybe this is what inspired the black squares, on that Arctic one, because we kind of get that. Kind of get a little bit of that pattern on that.
It's just
the black
that,
gray camo.
that looks like utility to me. Like it was like it's like straps or something. It didn't. I don't know.
Yeah,
it
or
was
electrical
weird.
tape. Yeah, it didn't come off the way this does.
Yeah, this is a design. The other one was like just utility or.
Did you leave something on? Yeah, like this looks like it's deliberate. Obviously, it's part of it.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Yeah.
So yeah. Air Attack Batman. Next is Firebolt Batman. So I don't know if you had this. I didn't have this one. But it comes with its own weapon.
This looks like a special packaging. Is this a special character?
That's might be, yeah.
That's not a blister pack as they call it. I think this is a different box. So
probably due to the weapons and accessories.
I don't think I had this one, but it looks kind of cool. There was a lot of gold being used at this time, I feel like. Yeah.
So we got the gold in here. That kind of carries over into the Batsuit that we got in this concept art for the Firebolt Batman. And Quinones also carries over the sort of the lines that were meant to be for the armor onto this design as well, from the Bob Ringwood design that we can see here. So he lets you know about the inspirations.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's pretty cool. And then this might be your favorite. This is the last one. I saved the best for last for you. Deep Dive Batman.
Oh, Deep Dive, yes.
Deep Dive Batman.
Oh, man.
Now concept art with Keaton.
Zach sent me that one.
He's pulling it up.
For
He's
a
getting
gift back in the day.
Yep.
It's kind of out of focus now, but I got him right here with me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Dude, yeah, it's fucking sweet. I scuba dive in real life. I haven't been recently, but I do it. And Scuba Batman is cool. Love the yellow color. I believe Jacques Cousteau started that yellow thing involved with scuba diving.
Mm-hmm.
There is no practical use for it. It was literally marketing, as far as I have learned. So I thought it had something to do with like actual practicality with scuba diving, but no, that's not the case. But hey, it fucking worked, dude, because that is the color. Black and yellow is like kind of the unofficial color of scuba diving, I feel like. So yeah, it's cool. This is a great design. Let me see which one I like the most. Honestly, dude, I don't have it. Well, actually, it's in a case right over there. But my fucking wetsuit, I had to get like mostly black and yellow because of Jacques Cousteau, and like my wetsuit actually is kind of like this first color one on the second from left.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
I like
Batman.
I like 2 and 4 maybe. Yeah, I like 2 and 4 maybe the most. The other ones maybe a little bit too much use of black there, but I mean, yeah, they're all cool. It's all Scuba Batman. That's awesome.
Well, yeah, the fourth one for sure is the closest to the toy.
Yeah.
I think
Definitely.
for practicality reasons, or maybe not even practicality reasons, but for what most people are used to seeing Batman in, they'd be used to seeing the one that the third one, where it's mostly black, where it's basically the Batsuit.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah.
But for the Kenner toys, for the ones with nostalgia for this toy, you don't want that one. You want the yellow. You want them all in yellow. That would be the way to go. It would have been insane if they brought this to live action for that one shot. If it were closer to the Kenner toys, those two on the right, in the vault, that would. I mean, I'm sure fans would have lost their shit even more if they managed to do that and did the Kenner Deep Dive Batman instead of that Gotham Guardian one. But
so
still
like
cool.
The deeper you go in scuba diving, you start to lose a lot of saturation and color, at least for the human eye. And it's Roy G. Biv, right? So red, orange, yellow. So yellow's like the third color to go. And I guess it turns like it's still yellow, but it's desaturated. I guess the further you go, it might turn gray. I'd have to look that up. But yeah, like that's an actual phenomenon in scuba diving. So there you go. Maybe we can use that eventually with Muschietti can use that in the next movie.
Yeah. I mean, Joe, let us know if you were thinking of like this is kind of if these aren't necessarily 3 different color designs, but the colors that it goes through depending on the depth that he's at when he's diving. Maybe that's a stretch on my part, but I'm just basing that off what you just said.
I think it's all really. I don't know if he dives or not, but like he's pacing on the toy for one, and then the toy is probably just copying Jacques Cousteau's color scheme.
Yeah.
So. There it is. That's really probably what it is. But yeah, this is. I mean, it's very cool. And he has no cape in the drawing there, right? I guess
he doesn't. Which is he does on the toy, not the one pictured on the right, but on the toy and the packaging on the left.
Yeah, he definitely has it on the toy, but I guess they thought maybe underwater the cape wouldn't make sense. Maybe the artist was thinking that. I don't know, but whatever, dude. It's cool.
Yeah. So this is awesome, Joe Quinones. This is great. I think that it would have been awesome if they had even more of these in that, especially bringing the Kenner suits to life. But what we got was still pretty cool. So some nice concept art. It seems a little soon to show concept art for a movie that literally just released less than a week ago as of this recording. But this is kind of how it happens sometimes. So,
that's cool. Yeah, I'm glad he did it.
Yeah. The other suits in the vault are clearly ones that were, the ones that he wore in the movies. So the Batman '89 suit on the left and the Batman Returns suit on the right in this picture on the right. You can also see different gadgets in the background, including utility belts, the hook for the grappling hook, and the grapnel gun as well on those. I kind of wish, I mean, this is just a display, so it just needed to be a printed out type of thing, but I would have loved to have seen, actual ones on the wall, like in the movie. Like you can kind of see the Batarang as well, next to the Batman Returns suit, like right in the middle there. It's kind of tough to see, but it's there right above the ninja wheels. So
Okay.
that's that. But let's talk about the Batsuit that Keaton wears on this. This will be the last one of the Batsuits because this is the main Batsuit for this movie and stuff. So we obviously still see clear influence of the designs from the Burton movies. And I'm glad, I think there was some speculation when they announced he was coming back that they were going to like try to put him in like the Kingdom Come suit or try to do some Batman Beyond type of suit like what he wore in the pilot before he retired. And I'm just like, no, if you're bringing Keaton back, he's got to wear the black rubber. He's got to be in the black and yellow. Like you don't bring him back to put him in a different suit. Just like if Affleck changes his mind and wants to be back as Batman, you're going to have him be in the same type of aesthetic from the Snyder films. So with this one, we've talked about this design before. I do think that the ones from the Burton films are better, but I do like that they tried to carry over the aesthetic more. It obviously is a lot more flexible for Keaton or whoever is doing the stunts for Keaton in the movie. I think that the belt has kind of been a point of contention for people because of the fact that it is no longer the iconic yellow belt. And funny enough, the original plan for the utility belt in Batman '89 was supposed to be black. We talked about this a little bit in the concept art episode for Batman '89, but Anton first mentioned this in a lecture that they were originally thinking it was going to be a black utility belt. That leaked. There was even leaks in 1988 or so for stuff, but that leaked out, and apparently fans lost their shit, and they decided to go with bronze yellow type of thing for that. But I used to be somebody who thought like, oh, the Batman utility belt, it's got to be black because it doesn't make sense for him to have a yellow belt out of all this stuff. It might make sense for the insignia to be that because it needs to be popped out, but the belt, people don't need to see that. But then I thought about it recently when I saw this and I saw the Batman, the Batman utility belt on Pattinson, and I realized the most iconic utility belts are yellow. Like
That is true.
Like, do you remember what Pattinson's belt looks like? I don't. Like,
I don't remember anything other than his collar. Yeah.
Right, but like you can still remember like the general look of the cowl looking more stitched on, or the fact that the insignia was like some sort of thing that he took off, and like that type of stuff. But like the utility belt, I'm like, I gotta look at the actual toy or the pictures from the movie to remember that. Similar thing with Keaton's utility belt from the movie. I remember his belt in this movie. Like I gotta look at these pictures, and it kind of was like, well, it is part of the iconography. Like I feel like the most memorable utility belt we've gotten on, like the last most memorable utility belt in design is Bale's to me. Like I know distinctly what that utility belt looks like, but I don't really remember Affleck's as much, and I own an Affleck belt. So, and again, like that one's a little bit more bronze, but still, like the darker it is, the more it blends in, the more you just don't really see it anyway. So it doesn't really have an opportunity to really stand out that much. So I do think that they did kind of bring it down a bit, as well as some of the lines on it as well to make it more armored looking. I still prefer the original '89 look, with it being a little bit more like sculpted muscles as opposed to all these lines and stuff. I still think it's better than some of the others. I think it's obviously better than what Affleck's wearing in this movie. If I were to give it a score myself, I'd probably give it a B+ on this. I'd rank it above Pattinson's, but I think it's the weakest of the Keaton suits that he wore. Or it's definitely, well, I would, based off of a ranking, still rank it above the Arctic suit and stuff. But out of the ones he wore,
definitely
below '89 and Returns. How do you feel about it?
I think go back to the close-up shot, like the bus shot.
Sure.
Okay, so I think this like scapula kind of looking thing is like too complicated. Like this not scapula, collarbone here. Like I don't know. I think that's a little bit much, but other than that, and like maybe how like it goes into the symbol there. I kind of like it otherwise, dude, to be honest with you. I think it's like a kind of a good update. You know, people brought in, you know, they started talking about like the way the ab armor looks. Like that not really an issue for me. I do think it would be better if the utility belt was yellow. Kind of tie it all in together, make it more toyetic again, for sure. But it's not like ruin it. I would actually probably fix this collarbone thing first.
Yeah.
But like black utility belt, you know, I get it. You know, it's suit's mostly black, so you know, whatever. I might go easier than you on this one though. This might be a rare instance. Can you go to the ranking again?
Sure.
I want to see what it's above. So I would definitely put it above trench coat. I put it above. Fuck, man. I would put it like. What's the one just to the right of Pattinson?
Affleck in Justice League.
Okay. Yeah. So I put it. Just below that, maybe. No, I don't know. Actually,
Well, it's up to you. I would put it above Pattinson.
Above Pattinson, yeah, maybe.
I'd put it above Pattinson.
Yeah, but above.
I like.
Yeah,
what's
what's that top B one?
That is the Gotham Guardian suit with the wings.
Oh yeah, yeah. I would put it above that too. Yeah, I would put it. I've made B
right,
plus territory.
All right, let's put it in B plus territory. So that if we eliminate the ones that were just like the ones in the vault that he didn't wear, then that's like basically above Pattinson's and Affleck's in Justice League, but below the Zeller commercial Batman, as well as Adam West and Batman Returns and stuff.
I mean, maybe we'll look at those again someday. but you know, it's kind of graded on a scale for what they're in. But you know, dude, this suit was really not too much of an issue for me in the movie. No. You know, you're getting into very nitpicky territory.
Yeah.
There, you know, the motocross armor is like way you gotta remove that way before anything anything in this suit.
Yeah.
You know.
So we like the 1939 Cape Crusader suit the best, then the blue and gray one, which we ranked at A, then the one that Keaton wears in the movie, and then under that is the Gotham Guardian, and under that is the Arctic suit, which still did better than some of these other suits that we saw, definitely better than Affleck's, which is at the bottom out of all these suits that we talked about in the Flash. So
that Arctic suit, man, I'd make it even lower, maybe, dude. To be honest, but you know, I think it averaged out that way, so that's fine. We can keep it there. But if
would you put that below Affleck's in the movie?
Yeah, maybe, dude. To be honest with you, yeah. If without you averaging it in the score,
oh, wow.
I don't like that Arctic suit, dude, at all, really.
Yeah. All right. It's still. I think we agree. Still, it's the weakest out of all the ones in the vault.
Yeah.
At least, even if we don't agree on the specific ranking, I think we agree that's our least favorite.
Yeah, definitely.
I think our order of favorites is still relatively the same when it comes
looks like
to all the Keaton suits.
It looks like a crash dummy. That fucking suit, bro.
I think you're talking about the black squares.
The black squares all make it all look like a fucking crash dummy, man. It's fucking
the black squares really brought it down.
Really, by the way, quick shout out. Anybody else have this experience in the 90s that's my age? Was it like the Crash Dummies toy line like fucking awesome? And there was like a fucking like a one CG cartoon that I thought they had an awesome toy line, and then one fucking like CG cartoon like before Toy Story, and like I was so into it, and then boop, you know, deadline, like it's flatline, like nothing happened with that fucking line. You know, if anybody wants to talk about that in the comments, let me know, because I remember, like, dude, Google image search that toy line too. You don't have to, Ben. I'm talking about the fans, the listeners. But it was like that toy line was like way good. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program.
Well, we have finished the rankings and stuff. The last one, this is kind of more of an afterthought epilogue, but we did rank Batmobiles. We got to see the Batmobile return one last time. Unfortunately, it was just as a prop. That does not bring it down from the S tier at all, though. It is still the number one Batmobile of all time.
No, well, I mean,
even if it does nothing in this movie.
Yeah.
But it could have had a future. So this has probably been shared around a lot by the time we show this, but we haven't formally shown this on the show. But this has basically been going around online. It is of the Batmobile on the set of Batgirl that was canceled with Keaton in the background with Batgirl. So it's a cool shot of this. It shows that obviously was going to be the Batmobile for the Batgirl movie. It'd be weird if Keaton didn't have that Batmobile for that movie. And we know that the Elfman theme would have carried over too, as we covered in that episode where we went over the Danny Elfman Batman theme. So this picture has gone out. There might be even more pictures that go out between the recording of this and when we end up releasing this. But there's also this picture of behind the scenes of an edit where it looks like Batgirl and Batman are talking inside of some sort of cathedral with somebody. This is either the editor or somebody who has access. Well, there's probably somebody involved with the movie for them to have access to this. Comparing it to Batman in the Gotham Cathedral. And I believe that's actually our guest Carl Newman in the Batsuit in the shot in '89, not the one in Batgirl, of course. But it looks like they're trying to emulate that in this, as well as this other shot of Leslie Grace in that cathedral type setting. I don't know if it's supposed to be Gotham Cathedral or them trying to go back to that setting, but it is pretty cool to see some of the stuff that obviously we're at least as of this recording not going to be able to see again with Keaton. But
I mean, even if it's not that exact one, they're jumping off that aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's very cool, dude. I would love for this to be released.
Same.
I still don't have much of a hope for that, but
Same.
Like the tax situation that they got in with that movie, that's a special thing, dude. Like if they were to, I'm sure they could do it, but they would be a very special tax situation, I assume. Like it would, dude. They would probably lose money on it. I don't know. I mean, maybe they do it. I never thought that. I never. And then they got the new universe coming out. It would confuse people even more. So maybe to drive people to Max, maybe it would probably never see a theater, if they did. But I mean, it would be very cool. I was looking forward to it a lot, like everybody else was. Not just for Keaton. I want to see what Batgirl's going to do. The suits looked awesome. So it's sad. It's sad. They need to rectify that with the DCU. So we'll see what happens with all that.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I think there's some part of me that wonders, okay, so if the movie never gets released, especially due to legal and tax purposes, that doesn't change the possibility that the script they were working with could get released. In which case, that gives us another episode. Sure.
at the very least, we got some content, baby. Yeah.
So I'd be really interested to see how Keaton's Batman is written, since that is post Flash. This is them going off the original idea of having Keaton. The Flash is a jumping off point for Keaton to have more Batman adventures. So I think some people have brought up how maybe Keaton's Batman is a little shortchanged in the Flash, but I'm like, well, we have to keep in mind the original intention didn't go through with him continuing. So that's kind of we're kind of a product of a lot of these different competing, conflicting decisions that have happened. And I mean, I also want to see this, but if not, I'm fine with more pictures coming out, and eventually somebody leaking out the script. Send it out superhousepodcast@gmail.com. So
just because those pictures are being leaked, don't hold your breath for the movie to be leaked. And for it to be, we're making the movie again, we're resuming. I would caution everybody against those high hopes.
Yeah. Same here.
So yeah.
I don't know if that is superhero stuff you should know. Big thanks to Dan for gathering the visuals for the YouTube experience and updating our tier maker visuals so that we could rank the Flash stuff. let's move on to some fan comments that were on the Flash episode that we did, the spoiler deep dive. So one comes from Etua 4072. Sorry. You guys know the Flash 2 script is already written. So this is interesting, right? Because before the Flash movie was released, there was an announcement that, like, hey, the Flash 2 script has either already been written or is in development from one of the writers of Aquaman 2, and would have Sasha Calle's Supergirl as well as Michael Keaton's Batman, which would be another script with Michael Keaton's Batman that didn't go through. But I kind of have a conspiracy theory on this. Like,
here we go. I love it already.
I think I think there are one or two possibilities that are more likely. One is that this is something they had in development before the regime change. They were so confident Flash was going to work.
Oh, yeah.
And
are you kidding me? Yeah.
Yeah, Gunn comes in and is like, let's put a stop to that. Let's just see how the movie does.
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
So,
exactly.
Because from experience, because we both work in the industry, these things get published in the trades. The trades are usually the last to know with some of these types of announcements. A lot of the stuff that's in development that people are working with script-wise, like it's basically in the works for a while before we ever find out about it. Like Superman Legacy was in the works before Black Adam, but we never heard about Superman Legacy and afterwards. So I think there's a high possibility this was done before the regime change, and they just wanted to announce it to sort of up more stuff to be like, hey, this movie's going to be really successful, and we even have a sequel in the works if you show up. So that's part of it. The other possibility is that this writer working on this Flash 2 script isn't actually working on the Flash 2. He's working on whatever Flash project Gunn has in mind, with the possibility of like, hey, let's just see how this movie does. But if this movie does poorly, or, hey, we're probably writing out Ezra Miller's Barry Allen, can you do something with Wally West? We'll just keep it on the down low until we see what happens with this movie. I think those are more likely possibilities.
You heard it here first, folks, from Superhero Stuff You Should Know. The DCU is going to do Wally West. It's
not what we said, but, we'd still love to go viral.
No, yeah. Dude, it just feels like that's the move, man, at this point. Of course, like I've been saying the whole episode, we'll see what happens. But it's just my gut has been telling me that also. Like it's probably gonna be Wally, dude.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm fine with. We had 9 seasons of Barry Allen. And a lot of the stuff from Barry was taken from Wally in the first place. And it just would be nice to not do the same beat of my mother was murdered and my dad's in prison and Flashpoint types. Like, you avoid all that when it's Wally West because he's got a different origin. He doesn't have a Flashpoint. His parents weren't murdered by... his mom wasn't murdered by Reverse Flash. He's got other issues.
It would just help out. It would be helpful with their reboot, Like, they could reboot Barry, obviously. They're rebooting Clark and Bruce. But, like, there's just another famous Flash out there. It's just helpful.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah.
E2A says, will it include Clooney or Keaton? That is the big question. According to the report, it was supposed to be Keaton coming back. But, again, who knows? If my conspiracy theory is correct, it's a possibility they wrote this with the idea that, Keaton was going to be showing up at the end. But he says, but it will most likely not going to happen because The Flash is a big flop. Yep.
It's not. Look, it's not doing great, but I wouldn't call it a flop. I think it's just kind of doing lackluster. Maybe some people think lackluster and big flops is exactly the same. It's kind of semantics at that point. But yeah, it's definitely, we can all agree it's not doing super awesome. So. It was number 1 too, but it was just a very shitty weekend because Pixar's Elemental did the worst Pixar's ever seen, and like other movies that came out, I can't even fucking remember what else, but like they're just making movies no one wants to see for one. Like, look, no offense, but dude, Elemental, like I've liked Pixar in the past, but
that did not look interesting at all.
Dude, I just don't give a fuck about some fire people and a goddamn water person. Like I don't know what it is, dude. Like, part of me just I want. I know it's like against their deal, but I want Pixar to do like more action, fucking like Exo Squad by Pixar. Like SWAT Cats by this is just the 90s kid in me, but just Centurions by Pixar, like do some fucking cool ass designed action shit with your cool Pixar emotional beats. That's just me. Anyway, let's move on.
Could be cool.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Itua.
Yes, thank you.
Right. So we got this other, again, YouTube changed some settings, by the way. So like if I say your screen name weird, it's because it now changed it to whatever, I don't know. It's not like the main handle anymore. So we got Roger Soul Ali 6278 saying they fucking murdered Keaton in vain. 3 exclamation points. Exclamation marks. I will never forgive them for that.
I knew that was gonna be bad for a lot of
Patreon
people.
patron Logan said, well, there's far worse ways to go out than holding your own against a Kryptonian. Also, much like the comics and Flash altering universes, nobody's ever truly dead. Itua is back saying the Flash did go back in time again at the end, so Keaton's Batman still lives in the Wayne Manor. Roger Soul says, I hope so. And then Slight Rebellion off Madison, one of our other patrons, says, going toe-to-toe with a Kryptonian and inflicting some damage before succumbing his injuries is a hell of a way to go out.
Yeah, yeah.
So we were talking, funny enough, this movie ended up having us reunite with Zach offline a little bit in terms of talking about stuff. And he had some similar concerns about, like, where is Keaton after all that? I mean, I admit it was hard for me to have much of an emotional reaction to Keaton's, the 2 deaths we saw, because I was kind of like, well, this is going to kind of get reset, right? Like, there was part of me that was just like, is he really dead? Are they just going to redo it? And then, like, it didn't really sink in for me emotionally that it was sort of an inevitable thing, because we kept seeing Supergirl die over and over again, as opposed to Keaton die. So, like, it was weird that, like, obviously I'm a big Keaton Batman fan. We both are on the show, but, like, it was almost like an afterthought that he's dead. But there's another part too where it's just like, well, it's inevitable they die in the timeline that Barry's created in Flashpoint, but now he's reset it, and most likely, as I told Zach offline, like, I think what happened is now Keaton is back to, painting and sipping wine and listening to Chicago in his own universe and stuff. Like, that's kind of how I see it on that.
Yeah, I kind of felt like the Flash putting the, like, what do you call it? I don't think he fixed that universe. Like, he just caused damage and left. Like, if he wanted to fix the whole event, I thought it was headed towards him kind of fixing the events of the movie by not doing anything with the tomato cans, but by stopping his, like, younger, well, slightly, the Flash from the beginning of the movie from like entering and doing that at all. Mm-hmm. And so stopping the whole thing. Yeah. So it's just a little weird that they didn't do that, because now it seems like all the events of Krypton and the Kryptonians and like everything that happened in that universe with the Flash still happens. It remains the same. Mm-hmm. So I just thought that he was going to, like, undo it all, but it's like that kind of didn't happen, it seems like. So I don't know. It's just like a lot of issues with the third act of this movie, I feel like,
Yeah,
it's just,
I agree.
It's just how, like, he would have stopped the fuck up with his mother and all that if he just stopped himself from entering. You do get what's called, like, the grandmother paradox, which is like, if you go back, this is a thing in science again, based on actual science type of shit, or scientific thought experiments. But if you go back and kill your own grandmother, how are you ever alive to kill your own grandmother? That's the grandmother. That's the grandmother paradox.
Or the grandfather. Either one.
Grandfather, whatever one it is. But, like, that's the idea. So if he goes back to stop himself, why does he ever have a reason to go back to stop himself? So
it just goes over and over and over.
I kind of get that, but I would kind of, I don't know, I would kind of forgive that due to the weirdness of the multiverse or something. Just feel like it would have been a better, like kind of a cleaner ending or something, but in some way, I don't know, dude. The time travel alone is absolutely maddening, especially in pop culture and movies and shit.
Yeah.
But you add in time travel plus a multiverse, this is just like it's a lot to kind of, like, think about,
Yeah. So it's it's one where I'm like, I don't think that much about it because, like, again, Keaton's kind of the choose your own adventure Batman. Like, this is a potential future for him, but like you could also do, there's ones where he went through the Batman '89 comic events. There's one where he, went through the the Batman Forever events of Batman Forever, but in his universe. Like it's whatever you make of it.
Yeah.
But thanks for this comment. It did make me want to talk about a little more about Keaton's death in it, because I don't think I really got to address the fact that like didn't really have much of an emotional reaction to it and why that was weird. But also you can't really blame me considering that there's still a million things going on screen at that point that I couldn't really. Yeah.
I mean, it gets kind of undone immediately too.
It does too.
Like, several times, so it doesn't sink in too hard, really, I guess.
One other deep dive thing that I realized when listening to the score is that the composer Benjamin Wallfish plays a sort of sad tune when Affleck does the whole speech to Barry about like, hey, like your scars make you who you are, and then he repeats that when Keaton does the speech about like my pain made me who I am, and talked about his parents. And then he repeats it one more time when Keaton dies.
Okay.
So that's kind of a cool theme that carries over. And then I think Rob Ailing was talking to me about this, one of our former guests, and he says this didn't click for me, but both Affleck and Keaton, some of their final words before they peace out of the movie are, quote unquote, "some other time, kid." So
that's
I
cool.
didn't catch that. Again, because there's so many things going on that, like, he probably did say that, but I was probably just processing, like, he's probably going to come back in the next 2 minutes, is what I was thinking from.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it registered that they had that same, they had that parallel. But, thanks, guys, for this.
Thank you.
And last one is not a comment on it, but it's kind of more of an announcement. We are executive producers.
Woo!
Now, thanks to Jeffrey Scott Richards' movie, short film, Derek Magnum, which we're part of. Go ahead and support that on GoFundMe. We have the link in the break as well as in the description. But both Andrew and I are in the movie, and we're executive producers on the movie. So thanks, Jeffrey, for that.
Thank you, Jeffrey. That's awesome. That is awesome. And the black and yellow, I see what you did there.
Perfect. Yeah. So, all right. And that goes over to the shout-outs.
We arrive too soon every time. So, thanks everybody up on the board, but some of our more recent people like Slight Rebellion Off Madison, Meteor P, Michael W, Bruce K, Tita, Sketchcraft, Kyle B, Darren P, Devin, Titbout, and Renee V, and other supporters as well. Thank you, everybody here. And we've told you about our friends here, and then we'd like you to do us a favor.
We want you to tell all your friends about us.
And run real fast, motherfucker. Okay. That's all I got.